Greetings and hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Inspire series brought to you by the Informatics Institute of Technology. And if you have been with IIT's Facebook page and other feeds, social media, you probably know what we do in this series is that we bring our alumni to your desktops and your mobile phones, and then we speak with them so that you can understand what kind of positive effect IIT has done on the society and also globally, not just Sri Lanka, but also globally when it comes to producing great alumnus and alumni as well to the world so that they can make a positive and even a better impact to the world with the knowledge that they have gathered and the experience that they have gathered throughout their programs and the experiences in IIT from the Informatics Institute of Technology with the great panel of lecturers we have and other facilities that are unparalleled to none other. So today we have Mr. Sanka Liyanage joining us from Australia. He's from Melbourne, currently staying there, and because he's working there as well. And now the reason why we got him is because we have reasons to celebrate his life. And this Inspire series is also about how we can inspire you when it comes to your future and what you're doing right now, and how you can project and channel your energy and your efforts in a way that you can end up being someone that can be celebrated, just like how Mr. Sanka Liyanage is. If I say a bit about Mr. Sanka, he is actually currently working at the Brave Energy Systems in Australia, and it's been 3 years and as senior project manager now, but has also been a program manager in previously as well. Also before that, he has been a senior project manager at the Gentrack Limited Global as well. If I tell you about the time of him at IIT, he was at IIT from the time of 1998 to 2003. He studied BSc Honours Information Systems Management at the Manchester Metropolitan University when they were a part of IIT back then. So now the time has evolved and the partnership has also evolved, but the friendship and the comradeship we share with our alumni has always stayed strong with them. And that's why we have invited Mrs. Sanka Liyanage today to our new episode on the Inspire series. Hi Sanka, good morning.
Good morning and good afternoon to you.
Yes, because you're having a time difference, and that's why. All right, so how are you doing?
Good, Mara. It's a bit challenging working from home due to the pandemic, but yep, I'm doing good and everyone's doing good. I hope everything is good at your end.
Yeah, we are doing great. Actually, we resumed the campus some time back. The students haven't come in yet, but everything else, like the backbone functions, are all happening in smoothly. How's COVID-19? Because we know that as a fact you're still under some lockdown. Are you still under lockdown, or have you finished?
Yes, Melbourne unfortunately went for a stage 4 lockdown at this stage. So we have another 3.5 weeks to go.
Okay.
Yeah, three to 3.5 weeks to go. But I think all for good cause.
As in, yeah, I think it kind of like lets you sink in how much of freedom we took for granted, and now we are like stuck with those. I think it's like something global. We all understood in the hard way, I would say. It's not the easy way.
That is correct. Yeah, but yeah. So unfortunately, this is our new change. This is our new life.
Yeah, that's right. Change for good, I suppose. All right, so as an entrance to this program, Sanka, let's speak about now as a professional. Now you are in Australia and you're there because you're special. You've been selected because you studied in Sri Lanka at IIT, and then you've been given an opportunity to come to Australia and work with the government and also private institutions as well, and in IT and different other segments as well. But also presenting IT is what you learned at IIT. So as a professional, let's speak about the growth. And I mean, you're here at one point in your life, like at a really successful level in your life, but you started at IIT from the very ground level, just like everybody else, right? So let's speak about the growth and basically to introduce yourself to our viewers.
Sure, all right, thanks. Yeah, look, I'll go back to the school level. So I got my high school graduation from Bandara Central College. I grew up in mountains. And then I did my A-levels at 1997, and my uncle, who is a Navy Admiral, like Sisira Jayatilaka, who introduced me to Dr. Gamani Kramasinghe as soon as I completed A-levels. So they had the personal connection. And then in the between, I had some skills, computing skills with me. So Dr. Gamani Kramasinghe said, why did you come and work for me? So I started my career as a web developer, and I remember I first reported to and IIL at Valukarama, and Asoka Varnasuriya, who was my manager, and Sushena Rankunga, you probably heard this name, who are giants in the industry now.
Very popular name in the industry. Also in the IIT itself, Sushena is like one of the resounding names.
Absolutely, I should mention him many times because who was my team lead at that time, and who was my mentor, and who was my coach. And Sushena is actually one of the persons behind this for me to select IIT. So yeah, so I joined as a web developer, and this is the time Dr. Wickramasinghe came up with this great concept of scholarship batch and scholarship students. Yeah. So then, and at that time, I was already in the informatics, and this scholarship is for a great university, which is Manchester Metropolitan University, and the course is an affiliated course with them. The degree is internal, so it is gold. And of course, I haven't selected to any of the government universities, and I was struggling my coin, and financially I didn't have much of support to pay for a massive university, and this was a great deal for me. So then there were like 8 people from the company had sat down for this series of examinations. They're a very standard way of selecting students to this, and a lot of blue chip companies contributed to get students from IIT at that time. So our university course under Manchester was sold very well. Yeah. So I was one of the part-time students, then had to go through like about 5 examinations, entrance examinations, and out of 6,000 students, 6,000 odd students, they selected a batch of 58. I was one of them, and there were 8 people from internally and 2 selected, and I was one of them from the company. So 2 from the company. And it was a great deal for me because I didn't have to pay a cent. Only thing I had to work for informatics for 5 years, and it's gold for me because I was like 19 years old, and I was getting a salary. In the meantime, I'm getting a degree after 5 years' time. So yes, again, it was a great concept. And after that, I gradually moved up the ladder. So I became a software engineer. Junior developer, and then the senior developer, and then like senior software engineer at your place, Sri Lanka, the way they're referring. And then I become a team lead, and then I become a manager, and then head of outsourcing. So me and Hiran Wickramasinghe, who came up with the new concept of Converse Solutions, I actually formed that. I founded that with Hiran. And then we started with 5-6 developers, ended up with around 45 people working for us. And then we did a great stuff there. So due to the family circumstances, I had to move to Australia in 2009, late 2008. So then I started my career as a technical manager at Wicroads Australia, which is equivalent to RMV in Sri Lanka. And then after 1.5 years, I moved into Pearson Australia as a national technical delivery manager. Pearson is an educational organization. That's again helped me, IIT career, helped me to select that job because it's educational plus IT. And then after 2 years, I moved to Hansen Technologies back in utilities because I'm, of course, coming from a telecommunication background at informatics after 13 years there. So that helped me to pick this Hansen job. So, and Hansen, I joined as a project manager in gas and utilities space. And then from Hansen, I moved to Gentrack, another gas and utility giant, as a senior project manager. From there, I joined Brave Energy, again in gas and utilities, gas and electricity utilities in Australia, called Brave Energy Systems. So I'm currently working there as a program manager.
Brilliant. So there's been like a variation of like different segments that you have worked at, and that is brilliant. I mean, that's great to see because now you mentioned about the scholarship program, the InfoScholarship program, which is running still, and even like recently we took another batch as well. So that's really great to see, because that is something very special we see with our alumnus from different from the scholarship program, is how they have developed, because they end up with really great places. Now you mentioned Sachin as well, and then people like them, I mean, they kind of set trends. They have become trendsetters in society in different fields, and really, that's really amazing to see how these people end up changing landscape, or rather like improving landscape in the IT. That's really great. I mean, you being also another example, I think we should be really proud. We are really extremely proud to have you, because you coming from a different country and I work with their government as well, but still being able to call a productive IIT is absolutely brilliant. That's super, I would say.
That's right. So, like, I mean, we were the first scholarship batch, and if you look at the people who graduated from all these scholarship batches, nothing goes wrong. Everyone in a great position. So
Yeah,
it was a great thing.
that's
So,
right.
I'm even running alumni in Melbourne for IIT.
Oh, wow.
So with few of my friends. So
Right.
which is here. So it's good collection of people, good quality products.
Awesome, brilliant. Okay, so from there on, now we know where you are, because in your ladder you are really going up, and there's we hope there's more to go, because we want to even reach higher. And but let's go back. Let's go back to the initial stages, like the first few weeks or the days, or the first day or the moment that you joined IIT. How was that, and how was that 4-year gap that you in your life? How did that become colorful?
Yeah, beautiful. So good question. Look, I would say like that is the place that I found who really I am, right? And I would say to anyone, it was a great place. It was a great place that I got blended experience in educational and non-educational backgrounds, and it's basically um, lots of professionals around, and they're extraordinary academic and non-academic staff who basically looked after the health of the university constantly. And we have great visiting lecturers from different universities, such as Morocco, Colombo, and we had a very good overseas lecturers. And it was a really good place. And also, this is the place I improved lots of team working, communication skills, and especially coming from regional Sri Lanka. And English was a challenge. Mathematics was a bit of a challenge to me. And it's not just IT, and it's also give the way of life and the way you should move forward with other skills. And also I found that IIT is continuously um, committed to produce good quality people, good quality products. So that's one thing I would say. And then I have very inspirational modules of academic and non-academic. So like C Sharp, and in the meantime, business subjects and legal subjects. Like we done something like intellectual rights, and then it gives
Like
us
ethics.
opportunity to work with the industry giants of the legitimate side of it. And then it's more than anything, to let you know, I was the only non-mathematics student in the batch. So I did
Really?
commerce for my A level.
Right.
So the rest of the selected batch, actually there were two, right? Two of us were coming from, the rest of them were done mathematics and science for their A levels.
Right.
I came from commerce, and the other one came from commerce as well. So we had to go an extra mile. So this is where I found IIT is not a place that they just throw a rope to hang on to students. They help you to grip it. So I had some lecturers staying after hours with me to give me extra classes to catch up with mathematics,
Right.
which was a bit difficult for me at that time, for the first year, right? So I would really appreciate IIT has gone such a way to help for few people who are not good at academically, because I'm not an academic person, I'm a very practical person. So that ended up me getting the highest marks of
Wow.
my
Really?
batch,
That's
97 for my final year project, 97, right? So, but when I come to the books, I wasn't doing very well. So that's why I need extra help. Yeah, so like I said, and this is the time Dr. Gamni Singh came with this extraordinary concept of scholarship batches, and it proven and yet again proven that it finds good quality products, and a lot of blue chip blue chip companies believe in this concept, the part-time concept, and they start believing in investing on intellectuals. So they start sponsoring these students, right? And also, I think it's a very good place. I would say I got to associate people with different skill sets. We had nerds, we had people with very good at programming, and equally we had people very good with drinking and and who are good at studies, and we were in between, right? So it's a really good place to socialize yourself, understand what's the world outside, and I do not think it's any different to any other great universities in the world. But equally, this is a place I really love, while you are having the feeling of campus where you do not have the rag. So we've been welcomed by the freshers, as a freshers by the seniors, and seniors us had a good party and we enjoyed together. And then next day, seniors and we playing table tennis, and then sometimes we help each other. And then when we go to the final year, seniors helped us to do the final year project. So, I mean, not like the other universities or some other universities, which is having a bad reputation with this bragging culture, but it's a very beautiful place.
You see it's actually quite nice how the same culture, now this happened to you in 1998, right? But the same culture is still continuing. We still have the freshers night, we still have the welcoming, and all those things are happening, and that's great. I mean, same thing. I think you back then maybe have been one of the reasons why it all started, and now it has been continuing, and that's a good thing. I mean, that's great. I mean, yeah, it's something we promote, like interpersonal communication at IIT, and that's how you survive basically. I mean, that's one of the reasons why COVID-19 has also kind of made us stuck. Anyway, that's great to see how you have been a part of a lot of things back then. Anything else to add to that question? Do you have anything else?
I think it's pretty good. Yeah. So I mean, I can talk to you the whole night, but I think IIT is a great place, Mike. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Right. So speaking about how you made the choices, now you go back, and then as a professional, there was this one point in your life when you actually wanted to select a place to study. Obviously, you had the option of coming into IIT and also doing the scholarship program with us. But at the end, people have to make choices when it comes to selecting their educational partner, education provider for the higher education. So back then also you made a choice, because you would have said no if you wanted to, right? But you still did, right? Regardless of other factors that governed you. But when it comes to higher education, the fundamental education that you receive from IIT definitely has evidently driven you towards your goals. And today in the competitive way, because right now we're having a very competitive education environment, because like from the first grade you end up going to classes here in Sri Lanka, I'm talking about. So to be the best candidate, because they all want to be at the top and be the best, and class first and the best top and whatever. And both parents and students, they all try to bring the best education so that they can so they can assume that they will be the top at the end. So what's your thought on this? You can also speak about how your choice to select IIT back then also helped you, and everything else that those factors that helped you made the right choice of choosing IIT back then.
Yeah, sure, Varuna. So I'll answer you. That statement has two questions. I'll answer your last question first, which is selecting an IT. So this is where I'd like to bring another name. So like I said, when I come to informatics, I didn't have much of a idea of my future. So like great people like Mr. Valahinda, I had to name that, and Sushen Rantunga, Asoka Varnasuriya, Dr. Gamgi Vikramasinghe, and Mr. Chandra Ambuldinia. So these people were visionaries, and they actually motivated me on this about the university, about this course. Like I said, all my avenues were closed at that time in terms of financially or in terms of getting a entrance to the government university due to the demand it had. It was a dream to me. And in the meantime, from the background, I started hearing all good news about Informatics Institute of Computer Studies. Those days they call it IICS, which is now IIT. And then I was like desperately trying, and I went to some banks of Sri Lanka, and then I asked about the educational loans, and I didn't have a choice because they were not promoting those sort of educational loans because they asked me to go for a personal loan. So it's technically all the avenues closed. So then this scholarship concept was a great equalizer to me, and it was a great concept. So then I tried my best, and I decided to somehow get into this course. So then it's a kind of IIT chosen me after this series of examinations and interviews. Apparently, it's again thanks to this concept, right? And it's also inspired me to getting into the information systems. I was an IT guy, hands-on guy, and more than the business course, I preferred the getting into the IT course. So finally, I got what I want, and so that is how I selected IIT. And the second part of your question is about the educational choices that should make. So if you look at the Sri Lanka now, I was just quickly referring to the web before this interview, and according to the UGC statistics around 2017 and 18, it's about 300,000 students are sitting to the A levels, and around 50,000 only get qualified to all the universities in Sri Lanka, government universities, right? And then if you look at the engineering and technology, the space where IT is sitting, it's about 7,000 students have the opportunity to getting into the universities. 7,000 from Sri Lanka, 24 million people, right? So 300,000 students, get these numbers to head, right? And then again, it's only 1,500 will be eligible to get this into the courses. So does that mean all our students are bad? No. So this is where important comes. This is where the universities, a great university, or a great, fantastic universities such as IIT and some other good names comes into the picture, giving an opportunity for students to select a university, right? So I think having a private university such as IIT makes everyone's future brighter. So this create opportunities to people like me to discover who they are. So
that's brilliant. Okay, that's a really good answer, because now that it's all about inspiring the upcoming wave of professionals. So I think with your vision and the kind of experience you've had with IIT, that is definitely done, because definitely people who will listen to this interview and listen to what you have to say and share about IIT, they will understand the kind of importance of making the right choice in their life, because it's the life, as we know, is just it's actually a train of choices you make. So whatever the right choice you make will definitely make you go to your goal and then to the next and next, right? Like that. So I think education, we know, is a really important factor when it comes to be successful. So if you make the right choice, like selecting IIT for your higher education, that would be they will definitely can become great personalities who can change a lot of things in positively in the world. And that's something you have done, definitely. And we are actually super proud to hear that from you as well. So, yeah. All right. So now there's a small concern, though, now when it comes to IT industry. We know that, whichever institute you go to in Sri Lanka and you go and inquire about their programs, they have a heap, like a load of IT programs that people can do, that as long as you pass your A-levels, you can definitely do that. Even if you don't pass your A-levels, you can do the foundation. There are degree pathways you can select. Now, these open up opportunities like education opportunities for the students. prospective students who want to do IT. It's not as now it's actually easier than doing something else. It's like if you like I'm saying about how a person will be qualified to do medicine would be harder, but like you can have ample of opportunities in Sri Lanka and also globally to do IT at the end, right? So this brings a concern about among parents and also among students whether this large influx of skilled professionals out there will ever create a scarcity of opportunities in the industry. Will that ever be a issue? Like, will there ever be like a skill excess in in global context?
Good question. The short answer is no. I don't think there'll be influx for next 50 years. You know what? If you look at all the other industries, and these are inevitably driven by IT, and the pandemic proven it. Even the politicians these days need IT. They need video conferencing. They need chatting. They need document sharing. They need documentation control systems, right? They need asset management systems, right? So I would say, like, if you take the iPhone, you book your doctor through your iPhone, and it's again IT, right? All the applications driven by IT. So and 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 again, if you look at the future, how it's building, even if you get into the bus here, and you have a microchip card, you don't need to buy tickets like all day, and it's all the systems, and you know where to get down, and then someone computerized voice come and tell you, okay, now you scan your card, you need to get down at this place. It's always IT. So, like I said, the example is all these industries, 90% I would say of them are driven by IT. So definitely wouldn't see an influx. To answer your second question, yes, there are a lot of places producing IT graduates, right? And even in Sri Lanka, I know there are a lot of places producing IT graduates, which is a good thing. Gives more opportunities to people. But the question is how good they are.
Yeah.
And how it's not just academically. So it has to be a very well shaped product, not a pear-shaped product, right? So this is where the institutes such as IIT comes into the picture, producing a quality product, not just academically, but also non-academically with soft skills and other educational and non-educational skills, such as finance and budget management, legitimate legal side, intellectual property management, those sort of things. So producing a quality product is always good. And then as long as you are choosing a quality place to get your orientation, and as long as you learn the right thing at the right time, even there is an influx, it will be survived.
Okay. So, like, what you're saying basically is that as long as you polish yourself with the knowledge, like the ever-producing knowledge, as long as you have the proper input to yourself, that you can function and be on par with others, maybe better than them, you can able to survive, right? So what you're saying.
That is correct. That is absolutely right.
Right. So regardless of the influx, you don't have to be scared. You just have to keep yourself up and above, and keep your chin up and learn everything that's out there in IT so that you can definitely survive. That's great. So that I think this also speaks about the IT programs we have here at IIT, because we have franchise programs which are also internal programs from the UW at the moment, and we also have signed up with Robert University as well. So we actually introduced a new program called the AI and Artificial Intelligence program as well. So that is something we have coming up. So these programs are cutting edge. That's the most important thing. So when you choose something, sticking to what you mentioned in the previous question as well. So when you choose something, just doing IT is not important. Make sure that you select something that's really matters these days and also for the future as well. So that is simply what Sanka also mentioned to you. That's something to keep in mind when you select your higher education partner. And yes, now you mentioned about different industries incorporating IT, sometimes to replace their job roles with the help of IT. You mentioned about, like ticketless entry to buses, and then there's no conductor, but there's a machine that does the job, right? So just like that, COVID-19 has actually kind of stalled. Now, bus is a different situation and scenario, but when it comes to automation, we had to do it forcibly because of COVID-19, because of the limitation that it imposed on the society. So education also had to go through the same, because we had to automate. We had to make sure that we somehow keep providing the education to our student through some means. We can't just hold them and let them stay home. We had to reach out to them through online. So COVID-19 stalled a distribution of many, almost every good and services globally except for education, because we could reach out to them. IIT, including many universities around the world, has adopted this different channel of delivery. We are still doing it, and we are planning on changing very, very soon, as long as the guidelines and regulations are in place. Looking at the advancement of IT, should we believe that society would prefer online education rather than traditional education in the way forward, in your point of view? Because this is something we have embraced recently, and we kind of like it because we can stay home and do everything without worrying about changing your clothes, or just putting up new shoes and having to buy everything and then having to drive in traffic. We like it, and education has also had the same impact from the pandemic, but they're liking it. And will this be the way forward? What do you think about that?
Sure. The COVID-19 has given us unforgettable and unfortunate experience in life. However, if you look at the bright side of it, and you will see IT help people to stay connected together. So yet again, IT, it's shown the survivals of another 100 years of existence, right?
Wow.
So as Varun, you said, it opened up new avenues, new ways of doing things, such as now you and I talking through Zoom without interruption, just like you're sitting next to me. And again, it's opened up new ways of thinking, educational platforms, delivery platforms of the educational artifacts. It is fantastic, so which is good. So when it comes to online education, yes, I like it. I like the concept of the online education, which is where you can save a lot of time. You don't have to get into the bus from Deval to Vellavatta and spend time on traveling. And I think kids travel far more than that. I was at Deval, so I was taking that example. It's saving a lot of traveling time, and it gives you the comfort of where you are in your room and study and concentrate, which is a good thing. Online education is a good thing. But however, there are a lot of other things that you need to learn. So I would prefer in the future, even if IIT, if you're thinking on online education, I would say keep the balance like 60% and get the students to the uni about 40%, where that's pupils learn the teamwork, respecting each other, understanding each other, working with people, soft skills, people skills.
Yeah, that's
Come
true.
to interacting with people, and values, qualities, respecting each other. These things comes. So if you're stuck in a room and doing an online education, those wouldn't come.
Yeah,
So
true.
one day we will be out of this pandemic, and then we will be back to this normal life. And then in the real world, no matter how good you are, no matter how you are educated, you can't work with a person, you can't work with a team, you're out.
That's
So
right.
if you're in my team, if someone, not you, I mean, someone in my team with a bad attitude,
Yeah,
with a bad soft skills we can improve, with a bad people skills,
yeah,
then you're out.
definitely, yes.
So I reckon you should have the balance. I reckon you should promote online education for the comfort of students who are studying, and it's good for parents as well, where they don't have to drop them and pick them up, and they don't need to look after their daughters, secure their daughters. So, but equally, I wish you should promote these people or human interaction.
Yeah, I think with the use of IT, it's important that we also use that to improve the humanness in us as well, rather than replacing it with something and then, just ignoring our basic human qualities, like having emotions and interactions. That's also there. I think I spoke to you on that some time back. That I had an interview with another alumna of IIT who's currently in New Zealand, and she's also a lecturer there in the university. She has developed this amazing program. Now, when we speak on Zoom, we don't understand each other's emotion unless you express it through your face, right? But this program, what she has developed, is actually able to capture the emotions of the person, depending on so many body language detections. So that makes everybody, now imagine we're in a meeting and then you don't understand how they're feeling, but then again, this app helps you understand the humanness, kind of like it captures the emotions of the other person. That's really important. Like you mentioned, without letting it replace the kind of human quality in us, I think it's important that we also kind of try to improve it and then try to at least maintain it to a certain level. So what you said about classroom education is really important, because at the end, being human is about being able to talk to others and being able to communicate and express. So it's really important. So regardless of whether online education is something we like, I think we should definitely have, like you rightfully said, a bit of emotional interaction. Yeah, exactly. Brilliant. Okay, so this opens up another discussion point on the discussion right now, because now I mentioned about this new product that's been developed by a doctor in New Zealand. So that's also, in a way, a startup. And a startup culture in Sri Lanka is something that's big. It's global as well. And here in Sri Lanka, it has been invested in Sri Lanka as people are coming up with different products, so many products. And well, it's like a budding thing in Sri Lanka and globally. There are many platforms and organizations globally that are willing to fuel young, aspiring, innovative ideas. As long as you have a viable business model, there are angel investors out there who can make your idea into a reality. In an investor's point of view, or someone who is able to look at from the above, what do you suggest that someone who wants to initiate a startup should have in terms of qualities and skills to gain the trust of the investor, to exhibit stability and longevity of an idea? Do you think having just a great idea is enough, or do you think the way that they project it to the investors is also important?
Beautiful question. Let me tell you my experience, and let me tell you my expectations.
Okay.
This is what I tried out in a small scale. I think, like I touched a few points earlier during your earlier questions. I think we should, so in terms of, if you look at in terms of IT investments, right? Say if I'm coming to develop a system to Sri Lanka, outsourcing my system to Sri Lanka. So I would definitely look for a quality product. Quality product with such qualities like knowledge. Of course, the people I'm looking for should have a good knowledge and having a good skill and learning background from such a reputed education provider such as IIT. And next thing, I would definitely look for reliability. So that is must for if you are looking for outsource opportunities, especially in some other place in the world. And reliability is very important. So you come and send an email and say, I'll be doing that tomorrow, and then you're not responding at all. So that's not a sustainable model. So reliability is a key, whatever the resource that we are selecting, right? And the people skills, right? Soft spoken, slow spoken, and both parties need to understand each other, because we are not always dealing with Sri Lankans, especially wearing an accent, because we are Sinhalese, we speak Sri Lankan, we speak Sinhala, right? And then when we're wearing another language, we're borrowing an accent inevitably, automatically. So we need to make sure what we tell to the other party is understood. So this is where the people skills comes. you need to respect each other. Different cultures having different cultural things. So you should be very neutral. You should be studying these cultures. And then if I'm investing, I will definitely look for people skills. And I would look for organizational skills, people with more organized, and where they have a referendum, where they have agenda, and even they come to a meeting, they should have what they are trying to get out of this meeting, an objective of this meeting, right? So especially if you are competing with other Southeast Asian regional countries such as Vietnam, India, Bangladesh, these are our picks. To make our people or our products or students or software engineers better, we should improve these organizational skills, attitude, soft skills, right? So I touched attitude. Like again, it doesn't matter how good you are, if your attitude is bad, then you are out. So it will take you up there, but it will not let you survive there, right? So that is a very bad thing. Thinking ability, I would say. So this is where thinking ability for a software engineer. So you would say how we improve that. You look at the course structure in a place like IIT, it's automatically structured in a manner that it improves the thinking ability of the student. So you have distributed systems in year 2, and then when you come to 3, you will have artificial intelligence, and then equally they have business subjects surrounded it. So then when you study the business, and then when you study the artificial intelligence, then you automatically link this in your brain, how you can use your artificial intelligence knowledge to make something useful for the business. So we make something having a commercial value. That's where the success is. So I would say the products definitely with thinking ability. And in overall, I would see all of them, or at least many of them, if I'm going to be an investor. And I'm sure we will have the products coming out from IIT has these qualities.
That's right. So just to tell you, we had a competition winner, not a winner, like he became the first runners up. And this is something we published today. We are still going on with the publication. So that's a really good startup. And he was the second in like 1,500 submissions of startup ideas. His idea was to build, now it's a team of 2 people actually. He built for the blind people, for those who are visually impaired, a pair of shoe that can guide them through with voice commands without rather than, so it completely replaces the cane, the white cane that they use. So because the phone on the app is connected to the sensors on the shoes, and the app senses how many steps you take, and with the machine learning ability, it tells you, it keeps on learning and improving depending on how you go there, and it gets to know where the obstacles are. So like at one point it'll be 100% sure where you're going, and it'll keep on learning of being able to guide you to the proper point. So that's really great. That's a celebratory winning we had today, and that's also came from a final year student for IIT, and that's also his final year project. So it's really great. So I think these are what you mentioned about startups is actually addressed here, because it is also important that you find a problem, and then you find a solution for that, and then you project it to the society, and then they wholeheartedly grasp it. I guess that's the beauty of becoming a startup person who's able to come up with different ideas. That's great. Okay. All right. So well, here's a good question for you. Now, when it comes to balancing, work life, right? These are 2 factors we basically depend on, because if you don't work, you can't have a life, and you don't have life, you can be good at work. So you have to balance these 2. So COVID-19 is something that actually challenged us, and then these, among many things that got challenged was the work-life balance that we had to do because we had to work from home, and sometimes you get disrupted by so many, maybe family members, sometimes your children, because they're not aware about how important work is. But you, as a person, now forget about work-life balance during COVID, but it's also important how when it comes to the long-term success, which you have definitely mastered. So the key to success in life is also in perfecting work-life balance. Could you let our viewers know how you have been managing these two aspects?
Beautiful question. Before I go there, actually, you touched a very sensitive point. First of all, I would like to pass my gratitude to the people who cannot work from home during the COVID-19 period. People who are actually working in the fields such as health and military and any other sector, right? So we are lucky again being in IT, we can work from home. So work-life balance comes to you with few other factors I mentioned above. So like, let me tell you my way of doing it. So I'm pretty organized since morning and break my day into little things. And I'm trying to get my little things right. If you cannot get little things right in your life, it's a bit harder for you to do the big things. I'm always a believer in little victories. So this is where it comes to the time management. So you split your time from your mind between this time to this time, I'll do this, and you stick to it. It is frustrating if you couldn't do that when you get used to it, but you automatically get used to it, right? And then subsequently, the organizational skills. Organizational skills help you. Especially I've been in the program management level. So yeah, you're managing multiple projects at once. If you do not have this balance, so you cannot do the program management because different projects have different people, different teams, and different financial budgets and different problems. If you're not placing these things in the right place, if you're not managing, then you come to the project management as well. It is very important to practice these things. And also, work-life balance can help. It is a great feature that it's a great ability. I couldn't do that at the beginning. Switching off your mind from work to home.
Yeah.
This is a bit harder when you're working from home because you're already in the home. You're already there. But now I am a great practitioner of switching off the work completely and completely focus on my kids and my family and my life, and then spend the time with them. And then when they go back to bed, and again, I probably switch on my work a bit and then do some work if required. And if not, I completely switch off and enjoy a movie or something. And then from 8 o'clock following day in the morning, I switch on myself to work. And then I focus it and I concentrate on it. So it's a lot of things, a combination of things comes together is helping you to do the work-life balance. In summary, time management is key, organizational skills is key, and then your way of thinking, again, attitude helps you to manage it.
Attitude is one of the key things, right? Because when you don't have the good attitude and you don't have the good thoughts about something, then also that kind of goes astray, I would say. Because it's really important that you have a good attitude. And also, what about this question? How about now? You said you are working. You also have a bit of a timetable. You have a kind of like a schedule for your own life, right? It's not something imposed by somebody else. It's something you have done for yourself because it's important, and then you can really manage your time as well. Well, this is something we hear a lot. They say that sometimes some people they say that they switch off their mind off work exactly at 5 o'clock. Will that help? Or what do you think? Is that healthy?
Well, it's actually healthy in certain way,
Mm.
but I wouldn't say it's pragmatically working in IT industry because systems are always running.
Running.
So especially when you're holding a senior position, you literally cannot switch off for the whole day. So this
Yeah.
is where this importance of management practices comes into the place.
Mm.
So when you are a developer, yes, you can do it because a set of assigned tasks, you will
Mm.
have 8 hours to do that work. Yeah, then you can switch off. But when you
Yeah.
come up high in the ladder,
Yeah.
so it is healthy to be honest, but it is but not sustainable for a senior position. This is
Position.
you have different other things that you get involved, such
Yeah.
as cycling and go out with the kids and playing a cricket and
Yeah.
go to the cycling ground and then go to the playground. Those sort of things you should do.
Yeah.
Then it will help you to switch off inevitably.
Mm. Okay. So great. I think like that's one of those skills that you need to develop if you want to climb up in the ladder, I guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Multitasking and working from home,
No.
absolutely. Multitasking and time management and switching in between things
When.
is essential when you working from home, when you go up in the ladder.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
absolutely you need to develop them.
Brilliant. Okay, that's some good piece of advice. And we want to have more advice from you because now there are so many aspiring professionals out there who wants to be in IT in Sri Lanka and also globally and also in IIT itself. There are so many will be graduating this year as well. And they have to fit into the industries that are out there. But the thing is, these industries that we have in Sri Lanka and also globally, they shape shift. They want to fit into the future, and as they fit in, obviously their requirements change. But students who pass out from IIT and also from other institutes in Sri Lanka and also globally, they have a specific set of skills that they have developed as per the curriculum. So what kind of advice do you have for these aspiring professionals as a professional in your field, experienced professional in your field, when it comes to fitting into the future?
Sure. So it's all about making a change on your life, right? If you want to change on your life, you need to select a correct, a proper avenues to get help, in my view. So when it comes to universities and education, so if you want to change your life, you need to select a proper educational partner. So like I said, IIT was a great equalizer for me, right? And then again, this touch points. You better have a great orientation, selecting the most suitable course for your desire. So if you are more into IT, select IT course. If you're into business, select business course. And once you make the decision, back it up. Do not change the decision in 6 months and do not lose your focus, right? And always practice social standards. Very simple. Utilize lessons learned. And most of the time, I had a problem, and most of the students, they're trying to be a perfectionist. Doesn't need to be that way. Do not afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Make mistakes. Do
Mhm.
not afraid to be fail. Learn from your mistakes. Right? Take take risk as much as you can. More risk, more benefit, as you know. So you wouldn't grow without taking risks. But you need to calculate your risks. You need to take calculated risks. You need to face actual issues. So for people, those are the advices I would I would say, and step up when things are really tough.
Mm.
Do not ever give up.
Okay. Brilliant. That's really good piece of advice coming from you. And thank you so much, Sanka, for being a part of today's Inspire Series episode. And it's been great speaking with you. And I mean, we are really grateful that you, even though you are in your busy schedule, we know that Australia, I mean, in Australia, you're having, we are in different time zones, and that means you are basically in the evening right now, and you're winding down, but you still gave us time to speak with you, and that's something we really appreciate from the IIT, and we appreciate the fact that you also spoke about it, and also the fact that you inspired the young upcoming budding professionals in IT and other industries as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Varuna. Thank you for having me. And it is a great honor and privilege to say that I'm an IIT graduate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And for our viewers, if I tell you a little bit about Mr. Sanka once again, he graduated in BSc Honors Information Systems Management in 2003 because he joined IIT in 1998. And currently, he is the Senior Project Manager at the Brave Energy Systems in Australia. And he joined with us today to speak about how you can be inspired when it comes to education and your future, and how you can make sure that they both go in the same path so that you can be as successful as Mr. Sanka in the long term in your life as well. So thank you so much for joining in today, and we hope that you enjoyed today's episode. As we will be bringing more, because we have so many other alumni also lined up for this program. So we'll be bringing them to you as well to speak about their lives and how they ended up being in these positions that they are today, which is celebratory as well. Until then, have a good time.
Thank you very much, Varuna. Pleasure to talk to you.